Welcome back to Whilton Mill for the Two-Ton Money Super 1 British Karting Championships. Rotax 177 up next. The man that dominated last time, Louis Large. And you are large, and you did dominate. You did dominate, and you put that champion in his place. 4 races, heats, pre-final, final, maximum points, I think, after the weekend. You must have been well happy with that.
Yeah, it was a good start. Kart was on point all weekend. We've had Darren and the team getting the chassis running right for us. Nigel at HRS had the engines on point as well. Our first time doing the championship, so we were just pretty happy to come away as we did.
Yeah, it was a great performance. Just for the viewers, where do you normally race in your club meetings?
We did last year a bit of Wigan and a bit of Lark Hall, places like that. But since Rotax went downhill, there wasn't too much left, so it was suit one for us.
Okay, and this weekend, Whilton Mill, can you dominate again, do you think? The conditions looking like it's going to be probably drier later. It's a little bit drizzly at the moment.
Yeah, yesterday wasn't the best for us, a P7 and a P2, but to put us on P4 for the final, so still doable from there.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you.
4 out of 4 last time by. It's going to be interesting to see if he can get the job done in the final here. Louis Large on pole position from James Beecroft, Fifner and Rowley, then Wright and Smith, Branfield, Dickinson, Martin and Whaley round themselves out in the top 10. Sadler and Thomas all the way down in 12th position on the grid, the reigning champion. Luck and Basley have not had the best of weekends thus far either. They're going to need to save their bacon in this race as well, so let's gung-ho.
I've had a bit of banter with Chris Thomas, but to be fair to Chris, he did say to me at the beginning...
Oh, got an off!
We got an
Two
off
of them
there.
have gone! 2 of them have gone already! So that's 2 of them spinning off there in the first couple of moments of the race.
That's Louis Large, the championship leader, picked out, going through in the leads. We've got places made up in Christmas Corner. I was just about to say, to be fair to Chris Thomas, I like to have a bit of banter with Chris, give him some stick. But he did say to me before the season got underway, I said, is it going to be a little bit like last year, just clearing off in front? He went, no, it's going to be highly competitive this year. And he has not been wrong. He is the one down in P12 as he goes through the picture on the one kart. Beecroft picked out running in second, the Basingstoke man, but Thomas was the first to tell me this year was going to be different from last year. So we'll have a look at Marcus Basley leading that battle of 14.
Look at this! Basley is crowded out there. That was absolutely determined.
Drizzle on the lens, so it started raining. It's very light, but it could have an impact.
Have you seen what Charlie Whaley's been doing? Charlie Whaley in this lap has been absolutely incredible. He's gone from P24 to 14 in one lap. That is absolutely unbelievable.
That's a great move there as well by the 70. That's Dan Martin making up a place. That is the last of the late breakers right there, Dan Martin.
Large, Beecroft, Fifner, Martin and Alex Rowley in the top 5. Well, considering how quickly Charlie Whaley's been going through the field, I'm half expecting him to win the whole thing at this rate. Amazing stuff from Large, Beecroft. Now, the 2 that were involved in that moment at the start, it was Darlow and Wilson, unfortunately. Tim Darlow and Jason Wilson getting caught up there at the start. They are still both running, fortunately. Purple sectors from so many different drivers. Fastest in the first is Martin. No surprises there. Dickinson's quickest in the second.
For the lead.
And that is the lead from Beecroft on Louis Large.
Jamie Zara's made up 9 as well, Jake. Yes. 19th to 10th.
Well, we were all still reeling from the magnificent battle from Zyra in the previous round at PFI. The less said about that from his point of view, the better, because it all got pretty spicy. But he'll want to redeem himself with this one, and he's getting on with it smartly.
Yeah, it's Joe Fifner there in 3rd place, Jake. A lot of people's idea as the champion this year, before the season got underway, when I was doing my ones to watch, there's a few people commenting that Fifner would be the one to beat, never mind the one to watch. That's not proved the case. Didn't have the best first round, but he's doing pretty well here. Alex Rowley running in 5th place, the Kinver man.
Up the inside for 3rd position, that is Martin! Oh my word! And that has not gone well at all. Alex Rowley's mucked them both. The back end stepped out under braking. It's very greasy, and I think he just misjudged how much grip there'd be on that inside line. Let's look again. He goes for the move. It's looking perfectly clean on Fifner, but look, the back end steps out. He goes one way, goes the other, nudges Fifner, and that's an open invitation for Rowley to go through.
Alex Rowley taking advantage there. That is a great opportune move by Alex to put himself up into the top 3 places. They come into the Heel of the boot one more time. That's the toe of the boot. Rather, that's the heel. It was the ankle toe and heel, we like to call it. As again, they all run the concrete on the exit. Getting close to the wall of champions, but nobody close enough to hit it at the moment.
Oh,
Here comes
again.
Martin.
Now that's what Martin...
He loves that late braking move, doesn't he?
That's what he should have done the previous lap, of course. That's how he should have got fifth. Now, he gets it done this time, and he needed to because he's got Chris Wright and Oliver Smith for very close quarters company as well. Tony Dickinson, the 3-plate, is in there as well, trying his best to make up progress. But Beecroft and Large are slowly disappearing from the rest of the pack. They need to work together to catch them. Otherwise, this is only a race for third position behind Rowley.
Large had it all his own way at PF International, didn't he, Jake? He was well cleared by the end, but Beecroft providing the challenge today. The two of them getting away, though. They've got a nice little gap. Warning for the 70. That is Daniel Martin. That will be probably for that move a couple of laps ago, Jake.
Yeah, to be fair, he deserves the warning. He certainly doesn't deserve a penalty from it because it didn't make any difference, but the warning is fair. 62, Chris Wright on the back of the O-plate, one of the rookies in this class, of course, Joe Fifner. Great to see him as the reigning British Open champion so soon into his Rotax 177 campaign. James Beecroft, though, the leader of the race, but everybody has been completely and totally dumbfounded by Louis Large having such a meteoric rise to the front this season. There they are as they battle away for position, and Large is not done yet. Let's not point this out. He's in second, Beecroft's in front of him. This is the race just getting started for Louis Large. At PF International, you've got those long straights, those fast sweeping apexes. You can get that gap up very, very quickly in those slow hairpins when people are jostling for position. Here at Whilton Mill, it's not so easy to disappear out into the distance because the straights are nowhere near as long as Martin again on Rowley. That's the third move in a row in 3 successive laps. The last 2 have been successful, but great to see Dan Martin really getting his elbows out in the braking zone. Just to return to what I was saying, it's harder to get away and pull out a massive gap here at Whilton Mill because the straights are not as long. The braking zones, there are quite a lot of heavy ones, so you don't always get as much of a break. But Louis Large definitely with his work cut out here this time with James Beecroft in front.
He has, but you've got to bear in mind, Jake, he took a full scoop of 196 points. There's a little bit of contact.
Oh, he's all gone very wrong indeed. Goodness me, how did that not turn into massive, massive fisticuffs between Dickinson and Smith? They've tumbled down the order. Smith's out of the race, so Smith is off at the he's off on the outside line before they get to the wall.
I think, to be fair there, I think Oliver Smith may have had a problem, and that's what sort of caused it. He was slowing down and people got caught out. As Chris Thomas going through the picture on the 1 cart, the 4 cart there, Alex Luck, the Buckinghamshire man. I was saying about Louis Large, Jake, if the bookmakers were making a book on this championship at the moment as who was going to win the championship, Large would be odds-on favourite at the moment, having taken a full scoop of 196 points at the opening round and sitting second at the moment after a good pre-final, putting it on pole. He is a massive championship favourite as things stand. And Chris Thomas, last year's championship champion, there he is on the 1 cart. He's got it all to do if he's going to turn this championship around in 2018, because Large is the match. Basley's out, retired from the race. That's Chapman hairpin.
Well, that's a real shame for Basley, but you were just talking about Chris Thomas as the 62 Wright finally gets through on Joe Fifner. And Chris Thomas there, beautiful move a couple of corners back on Adam Sadler. That's put him into 9th position. Basley, absolute nightmare weekend here. This is going to be one to forget for him.
Yeah, Jamie Zara's up to 7th place, Jake.
And that's an amazing run from him, up 12 places. Charlie Wally's lost a couple. He's up to 13th now. So he had made up a few more. Fifner, Thomas is going to get, that was a sweep and a move, and that's because Fifner is out of the race. Fifner had a problem.
He's just having a nightmare start to the championship. First round, nowhere.
Fifner had a problem, that slowed up Chris Thomas, and Adam Sandler went for the move and got it. So Sadler got through. I think Thomas has got him back straight away. So really interesting stuff. As now up the inside, that is the 4-plate of Alexander Luck making the move on Branfield.
Nice move there again. That's the favourite overtaking point arguably on this track is Christmas Corner. It's the easiest overtaking point for sure, because you've got the run in the slipstream up the straight, up the hill, and then just dive down the inside. And that's the corner we see most overtaking on on this track. It's not the only corner though, there's other corners you can overtake on, and as a racing driver, that's what you want on a racetrack.
I love the creativity of these guys when they're able to come up with these spectacular moves. Beecroft and Large out in front. Martin has dropped Rowley, hasn't he?
Zyra's into the top 6 now. He's up 13 places, so Jamie Zyra getting it done today.
Well, Martin is a full second ahead of Alex Rowley in 3rd position, so Rowley down in 4th can't really catch up with him, and this is the battle we've got in the middle of the pack. Jamie Zyra from Wigan leading the charge from Dickinson, Thomas, Sadler, Luck and Branfield. Tony Dickinson, of course, 3rd last year, but having a very difficult start to the 2018 campaign, was not where he wanted to be at PF, and probably he'd say the same thing to you here at Whilton Mill, but he's definitely still got that feisty stance, that no-nonsense attitude when he's battling with drivers in position, and he's got last year's champion behind him. Let's not forget that. Chris Thomas still having a struggle to his season as well. It seems like the seeded drivers and the O-plate, Joe Fifner, having an absolute mare of a season.
Indeed. We're getting down to the business end of the race now, just over 3 minutes on the clock, 12 minutes plus 1 racing lap is the distance. As we look at, there's that C67.
And Sadler.
Looking for the move, yeah, Adam Sadler, the man from Hatfield. That is Chris Thomas, the 2017 champion, who's hoping to win again this year. Of course, the winner in this championship this year gets a ticket to the World Finals. Don't forget, it's a World Championship ticket on offer. Thomas went last year. He's been trying to get a win at the World Championships for years. I'm not sure how his championship went last
that's a spin. That is the 73 of Darren Whaley. Darren Whaley's gone. That's a real shame. So Darren Whaley, and he's definitely not happy. Definitely not happy with whoever has put him there.
I think the 15, I think Chris Sawyer's in there as well, Jake, I think.
Well, that's a real problem. It's certainly Darren Whaley.
Yeah,
yes, you're right. Well spotted. So Whaley and Sawyer, and he was gesticulating at Sawyer. There we go. So I think he's basically
no
taking
hand signals.
No hand signals at that, man. I think
he's
just
taking a hand signal there.
I think he's just taking.
You know the one I mean.
Yes, I know. Do you mean the V or do you mean the I? I don't know.
No, I'm thinking that.
Oh,
one.
I see that one. Right.
Yeah,
Thank goodness that wasn't being filmed. Anyway, trying to get going again. The 15 Sawyer. I think Whaley's only comfort from that was that he was also off the road. I think. So James Beecroft, I was talking about seeded drivers not having a great start to the season. I'll excuse myself and correct it straight away. James Beecroft is not having a bad start to the season, certainly here running in front of Louis Large. However, this is going to be the first time Louis Large is really going to be tested.
He had a poor PFI though, Jake. James Beecroft was saying earlier in the day he was really impacted at PFI and it really damaged his championship chances. So a win here puts him right back in the mix though.
Well, yes, indeed, but this is the first time Louis Large, we're really going to see it on camera, being tested this year. He was absolutely dominant at PF. This time, he's got to really nail it to the mast and keep James Beecroft honest. This is about the point when he's going to start pushing it. I would say there's about 3 laps to go in this race, so he's not going to want to make the overtaking move until he can shut the door and keep it shut.
What's the gap? It's around about 2.3. It was 2.3 down to 2.1 second now. Back to Martin.
Maybe Darren Whaley had a bit of a point about Chris Sawyer because the officials have just given Chris Sawyer a warning for that incident. So I guess maybe Darren Whaley was right.
I think it was contact from behind, to be fair.
All sorts of flotsam and jetsam in this race because we've lost Fifner, haven't we? We've lost Basley, we've lost a couple of the others as well to other dramas.
Tell you what, Joe Fifner must hate us turning up filming races because we filmed the Rotax Festival last year. He never even got, I think he got about 20 yards across the, I say 20 yards, that's for the older people in the audience. 20 yards up across the start line before he just broke down.
Yep.
And every other time we turn up to film, Fifner just seems to have an absolute nightmare.
Several drivers out of the race in this one in what's been a very, very tough day at the office. Fifner out, Basley, Smith, Meakin, Darlow, Wilson. Fastest lap of the race though for Chris Thomas. Anderson didn't even start the race, of course. So we are on the penultimate lap for my money. We're out of time, so yep, definitely the penultimate lap as Beecroft tries to hang it out in front of Louis Large. Martin still there in 3rd from Rowley, Wright. Thomas up to 6th place now, so he's made up 6 places, Chris Thomas.
Set the fastest lap, we won't be happy with that.
Here up the inside comes Louis Large. James Beecroft is not going to let it through and spins off the circuit. Louis Large and Beecroft come together for the victory, and up the inside now Louis Large is trying to hang on in front of Dan Martin. Martin spins out, so Martin's going to be aggrieved by Louis Large. Now, how on earth do you call that one?
Well, I think the first incident you have to put at Louis Large's door. We'll have a look at the replay. The second one, certainly not. He was in front. Now let's see, does he get alongside?
He does.
He's running the curb. Now,
It's a tough one. I think the officials
you might think that James Beecroft
Yeah, look,
should see him there.
under
He's
investigation
though.
Well, it's down to what the officials saw, of course. They've got to look at that from the point of view of you can't sign off on these things until the marshal who saw it at the time, the officials have seen it. If there's any doubt, you don't give a penalty. That's the way it works.
It will also depend on what James Beecroft has to say in the meeting after the race.
Well, yeah, so Louis Large for the moment is going to get the victory, and well, it's a controversial end to the race for definite, but Louis Large is going to get the victory and he's happy with it. So I don't think he's going to have any issues with whether he's won the race. Oh my goodness! That is a big
Alex
one.
Rowley.
That is a big one. Oh dear. That's what we were fearing might happen using this wall as part of the track, the edge of the track limits. Oh, well, he's up on his feet. Let's have a look at it again. Rowley's come in. He's battled with another driver up the inside. And there's nowhere to go.
Look, he's all on the mud on the outside. There's only one place he's ending up.
That's a
at
big
the scene
shot.
of the accident.
He is so lucky he wasn't clipped by other carts coming through, because we've got Dickinson and Thomas in there coming across the line. My goodness, Rowley is a lucky man.
Well, after the race, after the investigation, Louis Large held on to it, I think, to be fair. James Beecroft may have done him a favour in the meeting, saying it was an ambitious move, I believe he said. I spoke to James after the race. He said it was a bit ambitious, but let's leave it there, and the officials have.
Another round, another win, Louis. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. 2 out of 2 now. Good start of the championship for us.
Overall, this weekend seemed a lot tougher, though, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%. The heats didn't go away at all. P7 and P2 managed to pick up 2 wins today, so pulled some decent points back, but definitely not as straightforward as PF.
Why do you think that was?
Just track knowledge. We haven't done a lot around here before. The guys with persistence had the cart exactly how it needed to be. Other than that, I think we would have really struggled.
Who would you like to thank this weekend?
Definitely thanks to Persistence Motorsport on the chassis, Nigel Horner at THRS Engine Services, and obviously everybody else in the tent who's just been plugging away this weekend.
Just to confirm, Alex Rowley was okay after the incident. Louis Large, you talk about championship point leads. How about 50 after 2 rounds? Incredible.